Well, it is his third time on 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajetumobi, and he says, my hope is that people will reflect on some of the things that we did in government that were right, and many of the things that we did that were mistakes, end of quote. So when he's not upsetting Christians with a retweet that the Christian Association of Nigeria describes as, quote, reckless and indicative of deep-seated moral bankruptcy, he is annoying the current administration of the People's Democratic Party. Hello and welcome. This is 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajetumobi, and I'm at the public presentation of the book by Nasir El Rufai, The Accidental Public Servant in Lagos, the Southwest region of Nigeria.
I've read almost all the biographies of who is who in this country, and I have them in my library. But I've never seen a book that shows us the inside operations within the presidency and the civil service. All the things that have held us bound and have driven us backwards, like the accidental public servant.
Well, after a brief ceremony to present the book to the public here in Lagos, then it was on to the book signing itself, with the former minister of the Federal Capital Territory sitting down to a long queue of his fans, his critics, friends and family signing copies of the book. Well, the chief host of the event held at the Sheraton Hotels in Lagos was Tunde Bakare, the resident pastor of the Latter Rain Assembly Church. He has previously been on 60 Minutes with me, and I was able to get a few words of him. I want your reaction on the assertion by the Niger State governor that there is indeed a document signed by the President, Goodluck Jonathan, intimating that he would do only one term, and on the basis of that, they supported him to contest the last presidential election.
Well, you know, I've not seen the document, and if you had seen it, you should make it public. But you know, politicians don't say what they mean, and they don't mean what they say. Such rumor occurred in times past in respect of Obasanjo too. And they are coming again to play the bingo on the rest of us who are used to their entertaining prowess. So if he has anything on him, he should publish it and let us see it. Until then, he's a free citizen. And besides that, there's a fundamental right of change of mind.
And will there be any role for you in the new All Progressive Congress that is being formed, the merger of all the political parties, yours included?
Well, the truth of the matter is, if you noticed and if you watch very well, the first time I stepped into national politics, I was invited. I'm not desperate for anything, and if those in the party feel I have a role to play and they invite me and I consider it, anything to help turn my country around for the better, I will do, but I'm not desperate for anything.
You didn't think the retweet by Nasir El Rufai was offensive. Some Christians have come out to, castigate you for that.
Unfortunately, here is one country where we confuse personality with issues. The tweet did not originate from El Rufai. The tweet originated from a Christian who wrote or tweeted that if anybody criticizes this government, even if it were Jesus Christ that would do it, they would look for a flimsy thing in order to tarnish him. They would say, oh, he must be having an affair with Mary. That was an innocent comment, and he retweeted that, and then they want to bring the whole house down on that. Many people don't have jobs and they don't have what to do. I do agree that you must separate the Lord and God Almighty from issues of joke and things like that. But you read between lines and see, oh, what is the motive here? Is this a metaphoric statement? Is this an allegory or a metaphor? Or is it outright tarnishing of Jesus' image? It's not that. So let us not use what I call ringworm medicine to cure leprosy. Deal with the real issues and leave the non-essentials aside.
And on a final note, those who criticize Malam for this book, The Accidental Public Servant, what would be your response to all those who are criticizing him and saying it's all a tissue of lies?
It is not a tissue of lies because all the facts are stated and documents to back it are also in the book. Let them read the book before they talk. Some of them just talk without reading and without reasoning. The thinker is the enemy of the mob. That's a mob reaction. If it's a tissue of lies, write the tissue of facts and let's see your own. Don't just say it's a tissue of lies. Someone had even said, oh, it's because Obasanjo did not make him president, so he's angry. So is this the way to become president then? The man just wants to straighten the records and set the record straight. And he has done it. And we are backing it up with everything we've got. We want to be sure it's in every bookshop, it's in every hand in Nigeria.
And will you be writing yours, the memoirs of how you were?
Oh, yes. Believe me, very soon it's coming out. It's not going to be accidental vice presidential candidate. It's going to be intervention in governance. I'm putting pen to paper and it will be out.
Jimmy Agbaje was the governorship candidate of the DPA, that's the Democratic People's Alliance, party he joined after leaving the then Action Congress Party to satisfy his dream of becoming governor of Lagos State. I spoke with him on the day that the newspapers were reporting that he had been presented to the President, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, by a top member of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos as the flag bearer of the party in the 2015 governorship elections in Lagos. Our congratulations in order. It looks like you will be the flag bearer for the People's Democratic Party in the next governorship elections in Lagos State.
Well, I don't know where that is coming from. I'm not aware that it works like that. I'm not even aware that the party has even chosen a candidate. In any case, I do not even belong to the party. So it doesn't really arise. From an outsider's point of view, in fact, from a personal point of view, I've never been for one to support the, shall I say, imposition of a candidate. Bear in mind where I'm coming from. Yes. Don't forget that some of us oppose imposition. Even when I did move to the Democratic People's Alliance, I did run primaries with 6 or 7 other candidates. So I am definitely not going to be for somebody, for one.
So where do we place that story that Chief Bode George has presented you to the president as the flag bearer of the party in Lagos?
Let me just say categorically that Chief Bode George has not presented me to the president. I believe in the last 2 or 3 years, I have met Chief Bode George only on one occasion. And so, I don't believe everything you read.
Were you surprised when your name came up in that?
You don't get surprised in politics. Don't forget that people play their games. They try to give themselves an advantage and all. They have suspicions. They play scenarios. And that's really what it is. So I'm not surprised.
And you've said now that you're not a member of the People's Democratic Party.
No.
What party do you belong to?
I don't belong to any party at this point in time.
Okay, will you be contesting the next governorship election?
I will continue to play politics. I will be joining a political party, but I have not joined a political party as at this time.
Any hints as to where you're headed?
Not yet. My options are open.
Well, we'll take a break now. Join us again after the break.
I want to present myself as an African.
And I know, and I know, and I know, and I know.
I know what you like.
I know, and I know, I know what you like. Everything you love, baby, you love, baby, you love, baby, you love. And I know, 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 and I know. Baby, you like ho, baby, you like ho, baby, you like ho, baby, you like ho.
In Africa, we underestimate the value of democracy and freedom. And the president is humble. He's a man who is democratic by his nature. The democratic space is much wider. The fact that they're even expressing the views that are against him shows that he's tolerant. When he came to government, he inherited problems. We had no infrastructure. Power was very poor. The roads were bad. These are things that he's fixing gradually. It is difficult to see all these results in 2 years. So they must allow his efforts to bear more fruits.
Welcome back. It's still 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajitimobi. On why he wrote this book, the former Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nasir El Rufai, says, and I quote, "I don't think we should have the conspiracy of silence about how our government is being run. I think we should talk about it openly and celebrate what we did right and admit where we made mistakes and name names, so that people will know when you are in leadership position, history will judge you." End of quote. The former Minister of the Federal Capital Territory has listed in his book, The Accidental Public Servant, 4 mistakes he thinks that the former President Olusegun Obasanjo made while in office. And these are the 4 sins. Borrowing money, he says, to acquire certain government assets. The third term project, he says, in spite of the consistent denials of the former president, that third term project did exist. The Obasanjo Library, he says, it was morally wrong for a sitting president to solicit for funds for a library that would benefit him personally, and his handover to what he calls an inexperienced duo as president and vice president when he eventually left office in 2011. Malam's reaction to criticisms about the book? Well, first from the presidency, the special advisor to President Goodluck Jonathan, Reuben Abati, on media and publicity. Reuben Abati had said, and I'm quoting him now, "They are accidental public servants who have turned the privilege of freedom of expression into a lifelong obsession and profession, must be told to go get a life and find meaningful work to do." End of quote. I was able to get a few words in with the former minister, Nasir El Rufai, and here's how our conversation went. Let's work from back to front. First, on why you wrote the book. You said, "I don't think we should have the conspiracy of silence about how our government is being run. I think we should talk openly about it, celebrate what we did right, and admit where we made mistakes and name names." End of quote. Name names. Are you still on speaking terms with a lot of the people that you've written about in the book?
I am. I'm on speaking terms with all of them. At least I speak to them, even if they don't speak to me. I think that many of them appreciate that what was recorded in the book happened, and there are no personal motives behind this. It is all to raise the level of conversation and make the country run better.
Okay. Do you get a feeling, though, that you've let down the side by letting out all these secrets?
No. I don't think there are secrets. I think there is a difference between personal, confidential discussions and discussions that have to do with public governance. Anything that you do, whether in writing or verbal, that have to do with how our country runs, is not private. It should not be a secret. Government should be open and accountable to those that are being governed. Okay, as I said in my speech earlier, I did not talk about the girlfriends or personal relationships of any of the people involved.
Even though you know some of that.
I know a lot of that. I will go to my grave with some of that information. But, you know, anything that had to do with how our country is being run and how the lives of 170 million people are affected, you know, it's no secret. And anyone that thinks it's a secret is living in another age, an age of closed societies. We are way beyond that now.
Let's talk personally now, starting with the reaction of your friend Nuhu Ribadu. He says, Punch, page 12, Tuesday, February 19. He's yet to read the book, but I am quite surprised on how you can quote a person that you have not interviewed. Nasiru never interviewed me for his book. There is a huge integrity deficiency bordering on ethics, end of quote. What is your reaction to that?
Well, he has not read the book, so I don't know what he's commenting upon. I think he should read the book and then maybe recalibrate his comments. Yeah. I don't need the permission of anyone to quote that person in the course of public administration. You know, we are working for the people of Nigeria, and whatever we said or did in the course of that is public information. I don't need to get your permission to do that because it's public information. That's one. Secondly, in the course of my public service career, I kept detailed notebooks in which I recorded events and conversations because that's how I was trained as a quantity surveyor. I attend site meetings, I have contractors visit me, and I write a visit report. Immediately they leave. Yeah. It's how I was trained. And these are some of the notebooks, about 36 of them, that I referred to in the course of the 3 years it took me writing this book. Yes. I don't need to go back and interview you about a conversation we had 3 years ago that I recorded because it had to do with the governance of this country.
Are you worried about legal issues? Because now Nuhu has mentioned that if you don't have documentation or evidence, raw evidence of these things you're quoting, you anticipate legal action?
Well, the manuscript had to go through several legal reviews at my level because when I finished the manuscript, I submitted it to friends of mine that were there when some of this happened to just cross-check the facts and sequence of events and so on. So I didn't write the book alone in that way. You know, many people that were there, that were witnesses to some of the events, you know, also cross-check the facts. That's one. Secondly, after that, we handed over to lawyers to review and see if there is anything that crossed the levels of legal propriety. And I have legal training myself. Yes. So yeah, you know, it is the right of everyone to go to court on any matter that concerns him or her. And when that happens, we will respond to it. Yes. But thirdly, the publisher of this book also got the publisher's lawyers to also go through a detailed review. You know, the book contains facts. You cannot destroy facts because you don't like them. Opinions are free. Anyone can have an opinion. And I understand why many people have different opinions on the book. It is my book. It is my opinion. And I understand those that disagree with it. Some abuse me, some question my motives or try to impugn my character. That is okay. Yes. There is a line to be drawn between facts and libel. And we are very conscious of that. And if anyone has any legal issues about this book, we will respond to it.
All right. And your response to the allegation that you've raised some issues about the late President Yaradua, for instance, that he wanted to nail you at all costs. A lot of people say, well, he's dead now. He can't even respond to you like the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has done. And what would you say to those?
There is nothing I wrote about Yaradua that I had not written while he was alive. And he did not deny that he was after me, he was going to nail me. Look, everything about Yaradua in that book, yes. Until he went into coma, I had already written in previous articles and published. And there was never a time that Yaradua came out and denied that his government was persecuting me or they wanted to get me. So I think people that are now suddenly remembering that Yar'Adua is dead, so nothing should be written about him, are wrong. I wrote about these things well before he died. Secondly, we have a national conspiracy and hypocrisy in Nigeria, in which when people die, we forget all their sins and we shower praises on them. I think it is wrong. I think there is no basis for it in any religion, because if you read the Bible or the Quran, you will see God still cursing people that did bad things. Okay,
Even though they say don't speak ill of the dead.
That is not in the Bible or the Quran, as far as I could see, because God himself still speaks ill of many people that died. You know, in my holy book of the Quran, there are people like the Pharaoh of Egypt who went after Moses. Still, he's being cursed for his bad behavior. So, in both religions, there is a practice of naming and shaming those that behave badly so that future generations will not repeat it. So this saying, oh, don't speak ill of the dead, I don't know where it is coming from. When the dead have done bad things, we should speak about it so that our children will not behave that way. But anything or everything I have written about Yar'Adua in that book, I have already published in his lifetime. So there is no issue as far as I'm concerned.
Right. The four mistakes that you list, the former president Olusegun Obasanjo made.
That was Nuhu that said those were the four mistakes. I agree with them, by the way. Yes. But, you know, these were Nuhu's assessments. He may deny it today because it's convenient to do so, but yeah, he told me that. And I agree those were four errors of President Obasanjo.
One of the errors you talk about, the third term project, General Obasanjo has consistently denied that he initiated any such project.
Well, you know, even in the book, I did not suggest that he initiated it. I think many of us believe that it was initiated by other people. But to deny that it ever existed, yes, or there were efforts on the part of the administration to facilitate it, I think it's just denying facts. As I said, this is not an opinion. We all lived in Nigeria. We all know there was a third-term project. You can deny it till kingdom come, but it doesn't change the facts that it existed. Opinions, as I said, you know, are free, but facts are sacred.
Right. You unanimously recognize that Obasanjo would abandon the plan to stop Dr. Jonathan from getting elected as soon as his temporary disagreement with the Jonathan administration was resolved. You said Obasanjo backtracked and asked for ways to remedy Goodluck Jonathan's weaknesses and support his candidature. Now, I'm looking at the irony here. In one breath, you say that he insisted to you that they were too weak, he was too weak to be president. But on the other hand, you turn around and say they eyeballed the former president and things didn't exactly turn out the other way. So misplaced belief in the people he had chosen, or you think?
No, I think I have laid out the story, and you know, the purpose of my writing this book is not to be judgmental as much as to say this is what happened, this is how everyone behaved, yes, so that Nigerians can read and make their judgment. I think the question you're asking me is more appropriate for President Obasanjo, because this happened and names, people were involved. I wasn't the only one. It wasn't a one-on-one interaction. Yes. There were several people involved that are still living, and this happened. And I think you should ask President Obasanjo, why did that happen that way? I'll be happy to call and get you an interview if he would see you.
All right, just as the CPC now dissolves into the APC, will there be an expanded role there for you? A lot of people are assuming that this book, the public presentation of it, is a step, you know, towards the presidential race.
No, it is not. Look, okay, first let me answer the part about the APC. The CPC and the ASEAN have been in a long conversation to merge, and I'm happy it is coming to pass, along with other political parties. So by God's grace, within a few months, the APC will emerge out of the combination of the CPC, the ACN, and other parties, the ANPP and parts of APGA. So we're very happy about that. Things appear to be going on course, and there is a huge groundswell of support of the Nigerian people, because everyone is tired of PDP, but cannot see any credible platform to challenge it. The APC will be the death knell of the PDP. Happily, the coffin of the PDP is being constructed, and before the middle of this year, that coffin will be complete, and then we'll bury PDP with it sometime next year. That is our hope and prayer, and we're working hard at it to make it work. And we all hope to play roles in the new party as well as going forward. But this book is not about APC. In fact, at the time the book was being completed and the date for the presentation being agreed, we did not know that there was going to be any APC. We had been in conversation with other parties to merge, but there was nothing like APC. It was just a coincidence that the APC emerged about the same time the book was being presented. Finally, this book is not a precursor to any political aspiration, because when you want to run for office, you don't write this kind of book that upsets the political establishment and challenge the godfathers. If you want to run for office or you want to go back into government, you keep quiet. You join that conspiracy of silence, and you keep quiet. You play the game. You keep quiet. You praise them. But I have chosen not to do that. So, in fact, if anything, this book sends a clear message that I have no such aspirations, because even my friends are not too happy with me. You just gave the example of Nouri Badu, So I think those that are trying to attribute any motives other than my honest desire to raise the level of conversation about our governance and to open up the black box of federal government for Nigerians to understand a little bit, are just being mischievous.
If this book is not a precursor to your presidential ambition, some people say that your account about the former president Obasanjo doesn't look good for this administration, because you've insinuated that we could perceive this administration as being the third term in real terms of the former president.
I have not insinuated. I have written about that. I've suggested that in the past. I believe that we are where we are because President Obasanjo made some errors in his succession. I don't think he gave it the attention it deserved, and we are where we are. My views about this administration and Yar'Adua administration are a matter of public record. I mean, I have written about it. I've been detained for it. So everybody knows what I think. I don't need the book to say that. I have said it several times before. I've been detained by the SSS for it.
Take a break now. Join us again after.
Who knows Abi better thing? Abi who no like better thing? All these fine things wey dey see so. Na money government dey take do am now. Abi, it's like, I mean, excuse me, I dey pay my tax. I dey do wetin? I dey pay my tax. Say you don't pay your own tax. Have you pay your tax?
Pay your tax. It's your civic responsibility. It's your duty. It's the law.
I want to present myself as an African.
And I know, and I know, and I know, and I know, I know what you like. I know, and I know, and I know, I know what you like. Everything you love, baby, you like, baby, you love, baby, you love. And I know, 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 I know. Baby, you like, baby, you like, baby, you like, baby, you like, baby, you like.
Welcome back. My concluding moments now with Nasir El Rufai, the former minister of the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja. You say the former president handed over to an inexperienced duo. President Goodluck Jonathan has been a deputy governor, he's been a governor, he's been a vice president, acting president and then substantive president. Some people would argue with you that you don't need much experience than that.
No, I don't think I referred to them as inexperienced. I don't think that was the right adjective I used. Yes, they had some experience as governors, but they had no experience at the federal level. They don't know how the federal government works. And trust me, the way a state works is completely different from the way Abuja works. But that was not the issue. What I suggested in the book was that they were anointed because of their support for third term. Yes. They were strong. Both of them, both Eradu and Jonathan, were strong supporters of third term and contributed materially to it. And Obasanjo, in my opinion, thought that they were weak and he could run things from behind the scenes. These are the two reasons. It has less to do with their experience, though I don't think they have a lot of relevant experience. Okay, but I don't think that was the issue. I think the main issue are the 2 points I raised.
Okay. And in the newspaper today, this day newspaper published a letter from someone who's bought your book, who says that the fact that you still took up that appointment in spite of you knowing that the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar had paid a sum of 50 million naira to bribe whoever was going to approve you, means that you've benefited from bribes.
I think the person maybe has a comprehension problem or a timing problem. I did not know that Atiku Abubakar paid anybody, and when I had an inkling that he may have, that was when I took the decision to reveal this and bring it out. Okay, it was many years later, and when I confronted Atiku about it, he denied it. He said he paid, it was campaign debt that he paid Zingina. That is what is in the book. So if this guy wrote a letter either without reading the book, or maybe he needs to do his O-level English, I can't help him. But that is not what is in the book. What is in the book is completely different from whatever is in the letter.
Also, your comment about Mike Adenuga, a lot of people say, why mention that he gave you a thank you gift if he didn't try to influence a transparent process? And then your comment that he finally did get a telecoms license with the help of the vice president and president gives a kind of insinuation there. Do you agree with that?
There is no insinuation. I just laid out of what happened, okay? And some people feel more comfortable when they give you money, whether they need to give you or not. And I don't know why Mike did it. Maybe you should arrange his own 60 minutes and ask him, but it happened. Now, yes, in spite of that, a few months or years later, he got a telecoms license. If you want to insinuate anything, it's up to you. All I am doing in my book is to lay out the facts. How people interpret those facts is a matter of personal judgment.
Since this book has been published and you've presented it to the public, do you regret anything that you've written in there? Is there anything you think you could take back, you could change in the book?
No. I have found a few things that I omitted, though, because many other people involved reminded me of 1 or 2 significant events that would have added more flavor to the book. No, I don't regret anything that I wrote in the book. Till date, we have not found any major factual errors, and we stand by what we published.
Have you received any death threats since?
No. Actually, since the book was presented, yes, I have been down with, I had a medical challenge, I had a minor surgery, so I've been out of circulation. This is the first time I've come out since the book was presented, so I've not been receiving many phone calls. But you know what, since I got into government, receiving threats is part of my life, and where I come from, you don't threaten a person, you do what you want to do. So I don't take threats seriously, really, but I have not received any so far. I have received lots of abuses, and I'm happy that this book is making a lot of money for many people. Apart from the vendors that are selling the book and all the book publishers, many people also are being contracted to write, attacking me, and they are making money from it. And I'm happy for them. I'm really happy for them because this is political season. This is a time to destroy reputations. And I see many people that have been paid to attack me, and I hope they pay tax on the money that they're making. But our attitude is the book is there. We have tried to outline facts and processes and systems relating to how the government is being run. And everyone can take it, read it, and draw his own conclusions and make his own judgment. We will not respond to personal attacks. We will not respond to opinions, because everyone is entitled to his opinion. And as Pastor suggested, if you're very angry with what I wrote, write your own book. And then let Nigerians take the two books and decide. The whole idea here is to put out as much information to the public and let the public decide.
And finally, your response to this, the accidental public servants who have turned the privilege of freedom of expression into a lifelong obsession and profession, must be told to go get a life and find meaningful work to do. End of quote. I'm sure you know where that quote came from.
I don't know where the quote came from, but it's an opinion. Yes. As I said, everyone is entitled to his opinion. If this guy thinks I don't have a life, then he doesn't know anything about me. The fact that he is writing this in response to a book I've written means I have a life. Maybe he needs to get a life. But as I said, facts are sacred. Yes. Opinions are free. This guy is entitled to his opinion. I would have responded to him if he said, this fact is wrong. Or El Rufai said this, and all the names mentioned, all the people involved in a particular event have all come out together to say it's not true. He's on his own. This did not happen. Yes. And he mentioned 3 of us as being part of it, and this did not happen. I will respond to that. But, someone expressing an opinion about the book or about Nasir El Rufai is entitled to do so. If you cross the line and libel me, I have lawyers that can take you to court and resolve it. But as long as you are just abusing me, calling me an idiot, or I don't have a life, you know what? I have a life. And this guy probably has never met me. And
what next for you in 2015?
I don't know. 2015 is a very long distance away. I hope we survive.
People are printing posters now.
Oh, best of luck to them. We are yet to survive 2013. And then 2014 is around the corner before we get to 2015. I'm praying that we get there as a democracy, as one nation. And what happens in 2 years, only God knows. All I know in my life is to work hard in everything that I'm committed to doing, and leave the rest to God.
Well, that's it for this week. Don't forget to like 60 Minutes with Angela on Facebook. Alternatively, you can follow me on Twitter, Angela at 60 Minutes. And the website, of course, is up and running. That's it for this week. Keep a date with me. Same time, same day, same station. You never know who I'll be spending 60 minutes with. I am Angela Ajetumobi. I thank you for the pleasure of your company.